In this tutorial, we're going to work on collecting citations, and we'll start with Google Scholar. So we'll navigate to a tab and open Scholar. We can search for Google Scholar and then navigate directly to Google Scholar. And we'll search for Crown Ether just as a topic at random. And you see you get thousands of results. And here's our first option. We can just click that and see that that takes us to a link that shows us the title and abstract, and we have the option of downloading a PDF version of the file. I want to emphasize that that's really important, but in this case you might not be able to access it if you're off campus. Other things that we want to think about are, for example, judging how important a particular reference might be based on the number of citations it has, which you can see in Google Scholar, but we can also click the Cite button to see how we might save that citation. So we'll choose RefMan, and you can save that file to a particular folder, but first let's notice that we're going to save this as an RIS file. We'll give it a name. I usually like to use an author along with the year that the citation was published. RIS file stands for Research Information Systems Incorporated. Again, save your file somewhere where you can remember to look for it again. So now you save that citation. Let me emphasize that ultimately you also have to read that citation. But for now, let's just realize that we have collected a citation that we can import into a library. We'll do that later. But opening up that RIS file, we can just see that it has some very basic reference information about that particular citation. Let's turn to another tool, the Academic Search Premier tool, which is a part of the libraries collection. So we'll go back to the CSUCI library webpage and click through Research. Look down under Materials and see that we can choose Guides by Subject. And today we'll look at Chemistry and see that we have a bunch of choices here under Chemistry, but let's look at journal articles and let's choose Academic Search Premier. It's just a big database of peer-reviewed journals, and we'll look for Crown Ethers here as well. We're not going to talk about all the details of the search today. Instead, we'll focus on gathering those citations. Yeah, so something like 15,000 journals in Academic Search Premier, and we can click through on this as well and see that we have some reference information here. The abstract is, but importantly for us, we'll want to export that file. And here again, we're going to choose an RIS format. You can see there are lots of options, but simplest one for us is the RIS format. So go ahead and save that file. And again, put it in the proper directory and choose a name and year for that citation. That's a convenient way to keep track of things. And you've got that file saved as well. Now we can click through the JSB link for John Spoor Broom Library, and you'll see that in this case, oops, we don't have access to that journal. That's too bad, but there are options there. Now, what you can do in this case is you'll have to go back to the original search page and click through the JSB link there, because when you go through that particular route, you get to access, ta-da, the interlibrary loan system, which in the CSU is known as ILLiad. So you can click the ILLiad link and you'll see that the form is already populated for you. So in this case, the Chinese Journal of Chemistry might not be the easiest one for the ILLiad system to obtain for us, but all you have to do is click Submit Request, and then it becomes somebody else's problem. They'll find the citation for you and you'll get an email notification telling you that it's ready to download. So if you can't find the journal article, then you can get it through Interlibrary Loan. Let's look at one more tool, that's SciFinder. And realizing today that we're only going to use a simple set of the tools available in SciFinder. But again, it's a library resource, so click through to the research section, go back to chemistry, now under journal articles, we'll look for SciFinder. SciFinder Scholar. Oops, in this case, you'll have to register. If you haven't used it before, that's fine. You can go ahead and do that. I've already got another tab open. And we can just go ahead and carry out our same search, Crown Ether. Right, this is a tool generated and maintained by the American Chemical Society. You can do a variety of kind of searches. We're just going to do a literature search right now. We'll cover other kinds of searches later. You can see that thousands of articles returned from our search, and we just want to collect this citation information. Again, emphasizing that you also need the PDF of the paper as well as need to read that PDF. So if we can click through on that, then we'll see that, oops, what we actually found in this case was a patent, which can be useful, but is not useful as a piece of peer-reviewed literature for a research project that we might be working on. So let's go down to the next reference, and we can click, yeah, that looks like, right, from a reasonable journal. And we'll want to collect that reference as well then. And the way you do that is to just click that radio button next to the number of the reference and click export. Again, you have a whole wide range of options for citation exportation. We'll choose RIS format. And again, we like to give it a name. I like to use author _year. So again, we're taking and exporting that reference information for that journal article that we will read carefully, and we're putting it in a safe place so that we can import it into a library later. So as you're working, did you save your citations? Can you get access to them?